Before we start, I have a really good record with these pair of shoes of not breaking my own ankle, so if that's what you're here for, enjoy. Anyways, don't cancel me. So, men with emotions are things. Men have responsibilities and duties. But if all men started to just react to the feelings, the world's going to be filled with school shooting, rape, violence, and stalking their ex-girls. Now, regardless of how you feel, you must comply and act a certain way, the way society needs you, regardless of how you feel.
Alright. But the thing here is we are not underpaid, and we have the freedom to own emotion, such as sadness or frustration. Even though sadness is kind of like natural feelings, but we do have the right to own every emotion that is faced by ourselves.
Right, exactly. And the sadness we are referring to is not depression, it's not suicidal thoughts. What we are mentioning is the feeling of regret, shame, defeat, and insecurity. Now, what do y'all think you should do when you feel sad? Anyone?
Steve,
Alright, sleep, crying.
I will get some ice cream.
Right. So when I was asking my friends when I was writing this draft, I was getting a lot of, similar answers. Ice cream, going out for pizzas, movies, video games, hanging out with friends. It was a lot of trying to avoid their sadnesses and trying to be happy again. But today, Marsha and I were trying to argue that it might not always be the best case for you to avoid your sadnesses. You might actually gain more from embracing it. And you have the freedom to be sad.
Yeah, those tempting to think that we should always avoid some so-called negative feelings, such as frustration and sadness. And the modern society has a very strong societal emphasis on pursuing happiness. From big advertisement that emphasize on the instant gratification associated with purchasing their goods, to motivational speaker and self-help books that promise an effective strategy of maintain happiness. We can see the societal emphasis on pursuing so-called positive feelings. Oh, James, do you remember the case of McDonald's?
Yeah, of course. So in 2015, there was that campaign by McDonald's called #Love24. Well, 24 because they brought 24 gifts of joy to 24 cities. The gifts include free food and coffee, handed out on the luggage train carousels in the airports, and a free concert with really famous singers, and token made with ice, so people have to race to the closest McDonald's. It was a lot of really fun stuff. People got to associate the feeling of joy with the McDonald's brand. And there were more than 40,000 #love mentions on social media that day, which is 850 times higher than the daily average. That's a lot. And it was a really successful campaign.
Yeah, not to mention, you guys remember that mascot of McDonald's is actually a clown, so you know.
Right. And we can also sort of get this pursuit of happiness thing through our daily conversation, like when your little sister got back home crying.
Selena didn't want to borrow your crayon.
Aww, don't be sad. Maybe your crayon's sick and needed some rest. Oh, how about we love some pizza? Maybe mom will have a few minutes on the iPad.
It's ridiculous. How can crayon be sick? But from this conversation, we can see that our reaction to what people being sad is denying their feelings and say, please don't be sad, or think something positively, right? And it is even more the case when it comes to the patriarchal society, just like what James said from Andrew Tate. Men have responsibilities. Men are never expected to be sad. There's even a question go like this. Is happiness our meanings and goal of our lives? Think about it. My answer for this is no. Because every emotion is important, not only happiness. And this is a quote from the famous psychologist and philosopher Marsha and James. As sources has been wrong. So we have the freedom to be sad because sadness is not our enemy. It is equal to other basic emotions, including happiness. They are equal. They are all something that come from ourselves. Something belongs to our human nature. And something make us who we are.
Yo, Marsha.
Yeah.
Want to talk about what your ex-boyfriend dumped you?
I hate you, James. But it's a good novel here. So, once night, I could not fall asleep now. Because there were too many bad things going on in my life. My grandma passed, my lover left me, and I suffered from heavy academic pressures. So basically, not even one thing was on the right track. And I suddenly felt sad and frustrated. Should I just go to a nightclub, randomly flirt with a boy and get drunk to figure out level experience? Will I believe some of us would do this? But no, I went for a walk. Yes, a part of me was like, I will go for a walk, take a few pictures, get an emotional future, and add on the social media, hashtag not even my shadow understand my heart, hashtag heartbreak emoji, and hashtag a Starbucks between 2 in the morning, so you am sad. But more importantly, I tried to talk to my sadness. I tried to find a source of why I felt so sad. And I finally realized it's because I want to control everything. I want everything goes just like what I planned them to be. But things just happen, even without announcing me. My grandma passing, my lover leaving, although sadness, I kind of feel that it's impossible to control everything in our life. Sometimes we can only just accept them. So, glad it was for a walk. Glad I talked to my sadness, but now try to be happy again. I learned how to appreciate the uncertainty in my life.
And sadness can also be kind of helpful in some way. It's like an alert telling you that you should reappraise your thought in your situation. Like where your knees hurt really bad, I need to go see the doctors. And sadness also prevents you from becoming overwhelmed with joy. Yes, that is a thing. Without a low point, a high will never hit zero. So I was in 9th grade, I had to take the TOEFL test, everyone does. 116 first try, right? No need to explain, I was overwhelmed with it. In fact, it was the best news I had for the year. Now, the original version of this draft was that it was the only good news I have for the year. Was it? Of course not, but the overwhelming joy it brought made me think that nothing else was really worth mentioning. And what's worse, whenever I mess something up, like my economics test, I will always tell myself, at least I have the 116, there's no need to worry, everything's on pace. And then 10th grade came, had to take the test another time. 106, not the greatest day of my life.
Wait a minute. 106, I mean it's good enough.
Yeah, 106 is really good, but a 10-point difference, that's really, really sad. And from my sadness, I realized that, I just wasn't working hard enough. And I worked hard, got my score back, happy ending. But the point is, what would have happened if I kept denying the sadness? I would keep telling myself, I had a 116. There's no way I'm getting worse. There's no way. And like I would blame college, I would blame BTS for the terrible score, just like how I blame college work for world hunger. Not the type of mindset you want.
Yeah, so you can see that in me and James' cases, sadness, of course, other emotions, are our thoughts and deeds. They can also drive our thought and deeds, but they have one common, is that there's something come from ourselves. So in our lifetime, it's better to feel ourselves, to feel our feelings, to trust the source of our feelings, including sadness. Think about what got me feel so sad. It's a better choice than just forcing a smile or faking that I'm very happy now. Because that can really help us to bounce back and become better self.
But, sometimes forcing a smile or putting a fake smile on your face to get through a one-time annoyance is perfectly fine.
Yeah, true. So next time when you see a girl or boy that your ex cheated with, please put that fake smile on your face. And tell yourself, a couple days later, she or he is gonna be my ex's ex. So anyway, we
We have the freedom to be sad.